Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gintama arc review series. Today we are covering 4 manga chapters and 3 anime episodes. These episodes are filled to the brim with callbacks to old jokes, great new ones, many screwdriver puns, and surprisingly, even an overarching metaphor for gender dysphoria. Everyone, I'm KazuTwo, and welcome to my review of Gintama's very own Monkey Hunter arc. The Yorozuya wake up to discover the three have somehow had their bodies altered in ways only Sorachi could think of. A screwdriver replaced Shin's finger, and a screwdriver also replaced Gin's dick. Sorry, no visual for that one. And besides them, everyone you see here had their entire bodies altered. Even if they do look like home hardware mascots, that is now a legit part of their body. I just want to say, I think Shin got the best part of this. He has a screwdriver instead of a finger. That could be genuinely helpful. That seems like a superpower. That's a net positive in my opinion. We soon discover the reason their bodies were modified in the first place is because 2 alien fellas were abducting citizens of KazuTwo left, right, and center and altering their bodies, turning them into screwdriver people. But why? Why would they perform such a ridiculous endeavor? Well, the answer is to fix one of their PSPs. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Yes, for one, that is how they censor PSP in the actual show. PSP! And 2, that is their actual reason for their serial abductions. Which makes me think, why the hell did so many of their attempts go awry and become this abomination we see here? Also, does every human have a different predetermined screwdriver they're assigned at birth? Oh. Yeah, you know, saying those words out loud really makes me embarrassed. I didn't realize this arc was a big metaphor beforehand. Yeah, wow. So if you didn't realize, like I didn't when I first watched this arc, even the second time around just now, the Monkey Hunter arc in its entirety is an allegory for gender dysphoria. Parallels can be seen all throughout the arc, from hints such as a godlike entity forcing this body they didn't ask for onto them against their will, to the realization that based on the time this arc came out, there was no cure in sight. They simply have to begrudgingly live their lives as they are and make the best of it, leading into depression, which could, if you lack someone like Sasha in your life, eventually lead to self-harm and even suicide. Woo! Didn't think we'd be going there for the Monkey Hunter arc, but here we are. I'd like to give a huge thanks to my commenter, David, for pointing all this out to me and laying it out in a way that I, a dummy like myself, can easily understand. Thanks, David. While we're on that topic, let me talk about what we also discussed in that thread. This arc's ending. To portray his message to the utmost success, Sorachi often finalizes certain arcs in ways that frankly do not make sense as coherent events in the context of Gintama's storyline. This is a particular pet peeve of mine in Gintama, since I'll always end up circling back to these thoughts of, if this isn't canon, then what's stopping this from being a one-shot, an OVA, a special, etc.? What's the point of this being parts of the 704 chapters Gintama makes up? I'm gonna take my reply verbatim from that discussion. It just feels jarring to believe something to be a canon arc only for the next episode to not conclude or at least explain the ridiculousness that was the previous episode and pretend nothing happened. This does happen quite a bit though, so to remove those bits from the story would be a disservice to Sorachi and Gintama as a whole. This is where David also pointed out to me this. The second movie actually posits a solution to these dead ends. But apparently that solution is big spoiler territory for the movie, which I indeed, yes, have not seen yet. So he held off on telling me for now and just left me with that. I suppose I'll just have to hold my breath until that point. And when that is happening will be once I eventually do reach season 3's finale. So not for a long time, but it will happen eventually, don't worry, and I will review it. Besides that, he helped me realize I've been misunderstanding Gintama. Personally, I'm a very literal person. I love piecing bits of a story together and eventually understanding that story as a whole piece of a continuous, coherent timeline. Thus, I love when stories have consistent timelines that don't seemingly end without explanation or repercussions. That was my mindset going into this review, but at the current time, I've ended up having to rewrite so many sentences, I don't even know if this script can be considered the same script anymore. My own way of enjoying this medium is being directly challenged, and I am absolutely all for that. Many of these dead-end arcs occur in the show. They are a staple of Gintama. Sorachi is simply posing the question of what if, and letting the cast go wild with whatever batshit insane storyline Sorachi comes up with, because most of the time, Gintama isn't about the actual events that occur, it's about the characters. The characters are the core of this anime, and if he has to sacrifice his own creativity for something as simple as a timeline making sense, then screw that. In any case, let's move on to a topic a little less deep. Let's talk about base entertainment value. This is honestly a bit hard to assess, since comedy largely relies on shock, with punchlines you don't see coming, but unfortunately I have watched this arc only less than a year ago now, so many of the jokes here are fresh in my mind, and I ended up mostly having a straight face for a lot of them when I went back to rewatch it for my reaction, and just to get reaccustomed to this arc. Luckily though, I've got my notes folder here, and in that notes folder, I actually ended up jotting notes down for when I was going to make the review. So let's actually take a look at that, because I think I wrote some things down on it at least. Let's just read this, I guess. This episode had me dying the whole way through, while actually dropping a lot more lore during it, like the existence of Zoni, PSP's Monkey Hunter online capability across the galaxy. Is that confirmed though? Or is that just me being dumb? I don't know if that's actually confirmed, or maybe it is, because the aliens only were playing Monkey Hunter when they were on Earth, right? Or maybe not. I don't actually know. And as for Monkey Hunter and PSPs and Zoni, sure, that's true. We do have that now. So lore, that's lore, I guess. Lore. Looks like I was laughing about Gintoki not feeding Kagura enough and her complaining about it. And then the Fruit Punch Samurai callback. Looks like I was dying on that one. And then Kagura being a Chunibyo. That was good. Oh yeah, they used, I guess I didn't mention that yet. They used the cardboard box song from Hasegawa, and they also used Banji Blues, which was pretty cool. They used like both of the awesome insert songs that Gintama has access to. Oh yeah, I mentioned Banji Blues here. What the fuck? Banji Blues played over the scene. Goat, 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 goat. What the shit? What the fuck? Something happened between this comments and this comment that just made me hyped as fuck. I guess I don't even know. I genuinely couldn't tell you, but hey, look at that. Looks like I was enjoying myself. Good for you, Past Kev. And then I called it a cop-out ending and all that, but as we discussed before, I have different opinions now. Opinions changed, in which this certainly did. And then I said, this arc was hella entertaining. So, yeah, I guess that covers that. Summary here, arc is pretty hilarious. Next, I just kind of want to mention how there were a few, like, odd moments throughout the arc that don't make any sense, or at least don't seem like they make sense. I mean, they really don't matter in the overall scheme of things, but I just thought it'd be fun to point out. So, for one, the game admins for Monkey Hunter have to actually kill player characters to ban them, and they can weirdly get killed themselves, all in what seems like it's supposed to be a safe zone? Not really sure how that works. According to Hasegawa, our group is supposedly the first to make it to the final boss of the game, even though they're extremely underleveled. And as for number 3, Hijikata and Sogo, who are supposedly also noobs, have this insane OP pistol to defeat anything in the game in one shot. This one is actually a little bit more believable since they may have special permissions being on a government mission and all. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, so those are like the 3 points I just wanted to point out. They don't really matter. I'm not going to count the score down towards that or anything like that, you know? With that being said, I guess I've covered everything I wanted to say, which is weird. This is like the most slipshod arc review I've done so far, but here it is, the Monkey Hunter arc. Hopefully I can make the other ones more structured than this, but let's rate it. let's keep the structure at least for the finale and rate it. Let's drop a quite solid 8 out of 10. This arc was at times downright hilarious, other times depressing as shit, sometimes just okay, and others surprisingly deep. I'm still super mad at myself. I never realized this was a big metaphor before, but anyway folks, have a wonderful day. Peace.